All right, for this first trick, this one is usually done with participants. So you could hand out 4 cards to a few people in the crowd or just the one person you're showing to, but you'd hand them 4 cards and you'd have them do this with you, with their own 4 cards. So what you're gonna do is, if you have a deck of cards nearby, I recommend doing it with me, it's really fun. What you're gonna do is with your 4 cards, right, this bottom one, right, flip it over just to look at it. This bottom card is your card, so remember it. 10 of spades. The steps are as follows. We're going to place this top card on the bottom of the deck. Next, we're going to flip the current top card. After that, you want to cut randomly. Cutting is where you take a certain amount on the top and you start to place it on the bottom. You can cut as many cards as you want. You could do 1, 2, or 3. I did 3. After this, we are going to do a certain type of shuffle 3 times. The shuffle is going to be flip the top 2 cards and then cut randomly. Flip the top 2 cards, cut randomly. Flip the top 2 cards, cut randomly. We did that 3 times. Next, we're going to flip the top card, and we're going to place it on the bottom. Then, we're going to take the current top card, we're going to place it on the bottom, no flipping. Lastly, we're going to flip the current top card. What you should be left with is 3 cards facing one way and 1 odd card out. Our odd card out was our original card. For you, it might be the other way around. Your 3 cards facing one way might be facing up. But either way, you're going to have 1 oddball, and the oddball is going to be your card. For the next trick, you're going to take any amount of even cards. I'm doing 8, and I recommend doing like 4 or more, but you can do any number of even cards that you would like. What we're going to then do is we are going to do that shuffle from the last trick, where we flip the top 2 and then cut randomly. Flip the top 2, cut randomly. Flip the top 2, cut randomly. And do this as many times as you want. It doesn't have to be the same amount of times that I do. Just do it as many times as you want until you feel like, oh, this is really jumbled up, shuffled. We got a bunch of cards facing one way, a bunch of cards facing the other. All right, I think it's pretty good now. Next, what we're gonna do is we are going to take every single card in the even position and flip it. So if this card is number 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. So every even card, like card number 2, we're going to flip. And then place exactly back where it was. What this should result in is you should always have exactly half of the cards, so in this case it'd be 4, facing up and half the cards facing down. This should work with your deck no matter how many times you shuffled it and no matter how many cards you have, as long as it's even. For this last trick, this one isn't a participation one. Usually I would just have someone tell me what to do when I give them a random choice. So I will just be filling in for that. So I'm going to take this deck of cards, right? Typically I would have the participant shuffle it for me after they looked over them, just saying, yeah, it's just a bunch of cards. I'm going to have them shuffle them. Next, we're just going to do everything we can to get this deck as shuffled and as misplaced as possible. So 2 at a time, we're just gonna start like flipping some, not flipping others. And you can note that there's a couple of these like shuffle things that magicians do where they flip it with the other card. I think it's pretty cool. And if you see really practiced magicians do it, they're really quite fast at it, and it's really neat, to be honest. So we're just gonna do that, just try and shuffle them as much as possible, get them all mixed up with all of these cards. Place them in the new deck. The next part that we're gonna do is I would have the participant say flip or no flip for any two number of cards. In place of a participant, I have a random number generator from 1 to 2. Let's say 1 means flip and 2 means no flip. So 2 means no flip. 1 means flip. 2 means no flip. I guess 2 means no flip. 1 means flip. 2, no flip. 1 is flip. And lastly, 2 is no flip. So now we're all mixed up. We're going to put it in 2 separate piles now, left, right. And at this point, we would have the participant choose one of these decks and flip it. So this will be deck 1, this will be deck 2, and I'll do the random number generator for it. So number 1, this is the one that we're going to flip and place on top of the other. All right, now that we're at this point, usually it's like, okay, well, what's the big reveal? We didn't have a card in the first place, no original card. You know, am I going to reveal aces or maybe like a cool poker hand? So let's talk a poker hand. What's the highest or like the most valuable poker hand you can have? That would be a royal flush. So what if I said that I could reveal a royal flush? Yeah, there's my jack. And that's the big reveal for this trick.